Okay. Boy, this is about the third or fourth time I've tried this. Alright, so I'm not very good at this, and it's not working out. But anyway, so we got our water about 113 degrees, and that's, I would have liked it 140. But anyway, in this 4 cup measure, I've got 5 teaspoons of dry active yeast and 5 teaspoons of sugar, and I'm just going to pour in about a half a cup of 113. I wanted about 115, but 113 is fine. It's as long as you don't go above 115. 115 is maximum, so that's fine. So the dry active yeast is this brand of dry active yeast. Now you can buy it in the packets. I think there's 3 packets in this one of them little strips. I think they're what, 98 cents or $1 at Walmart for one of them 3 strips. And you use 2 of those, which is I think about 5 teaspoons. But what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit for a good 5 minutes, hopefully. And underneath this cup I have a stick of butter that I just took out of the refrigerator. But I got the glass warm, and I'm letting the butter warm up because I want it room temperature or thereabout. I want it soft. And I'm going to use 4 cups of bread flour. And so I'm going to use the bread flour because that's what I bought. Now if you don't you don't have to buy bread flour. You can use all-purpose flour for this. I just make a lot of bread, so I found that. But if you're only going to make 1 loaf a month or whatever, you just might as well just use all-purpose flour. I make a lot of bread, so I use bread flour. I notice there's a slight difference in taste, a slight different, but for just making once a month or once every couple months, you can use all-purpose flour, just regular all-purpose flour. I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, so what I've got in the bowl here is, I hope that's just on my screen, not on the camera. I've got actually 6 cups. I'm going to put 4 in the mixer here, but I need extra. So what I'm going to start out doing is this butter is pretty soft now, and I'm going to put this butter in the bowl. Hold on. Okay, what I've done is this is sugar. So I put a half cup of sugar in with the butter in the mixer, and I'm going to set the mixer down and lock it down, and I'm going to put it on the lowest setting and let it do its thing for a minute while I come over here to my pantry, and I'm going to get some of this. It's lard, just basic lard. We're going to use 1/3 cup of lard. Or you can use Crisco shortening, but you need to use either or. Now you see the way I got that scooped up there? That's wrong. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a butter knife and I'm going to smooth that out. I'll be right back. Alright, so I use the back of the butter knife, which makes it flat and level. And you notice that that's not much going on in there. It's just making a mess of the butter. So I'm going to put the lard in here with the butter and the sugar. Okay, so I use the butter knife to dig the lard out of the measuring cup. Now you see how see how that's all nice and frosted up? That was 113-degree water, and we put about a half a cup in there, and see how it's nice and frothy? We're just going to hold on to that, and we're going to start putting flour in with our butter, sugar, and lard. Alright, so what I did is I took off the whisk hook, or the whisk attachment, and put on the dough hook. Let me show you. So I got the dough hook on there. And I also added 4 cups of loosely leveled, and I used the back of the butter knife to level the flour with the cup. So I know I got 4 cups of flour in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it start running on the lowest setting. Push everything over. Now I've got a cup of warm water here. It's just warm water. And I'm going to just pour this water in here. Just like that. Just nice and slow. And now, oh, I forgot. Almost forgot. I need 1 teaspoon of salt. Just regular old salt. You can use kosher salt or you can use sea salt. I just use regular old Morton salt. Right back. Alright. Now at this point it's kind of sort of dough. It's not ready yet. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 or 5 cloves of garlic. And I got my little garlic press here if I can keep hold of the garlic. There it is. Just a clove of garlic that jumped on the ground, so I'll use a different one. So hold on, let me put garlic in this. I'm going to put 4 cloves of garlic in here. Okay, so I've got the 4 cloves of garlic in there, and I'm going to turn this back on. And see how the yeast is just getting really carried away, so I'm going to pour that in there. Just like that. It's going to make it a soupy sound. I think I need to set the phone down again and get my little scraper and finish scraping all that foamy yeast out of there. So I'll be right back. Okay, notice that it looks a little soupy at this point. We're just going to go ahead and start adding a little bit more flour. I'm going to use this 1 cup measure, but I'm going to just kind of add a little bit at a time, like this, until it looks not so wet. Until it looks not so wet. See how it's starting to come together? And you'll know when it's dry enough, it will actually clean the bowl. The bowl will actually be shiny clean when it starts getting dry enough. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit. Keep adding flour to it because I may wind up I may get carried away. I can get the rest of this flour in there. See how it's starting to come together? Now I'm going to turn this up a little bit. There, that's on second speed, or second gear, or whatever you want to call it. So I'll be right back. Alright, you see how it's balled up there and it's cleaned the side? Now I haven't added any more flour to it. Actually I was only gone for just a few seconds. You see how it's cleaned that bowl? So what I'm gonna do is let it run now for 7 minutes. No, I'm not gonna make you watch it, but for 7 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer and it's gonna run for 7 minutes. So I'll be right back. Okay, so what I've got here is I've got a good size plastic bowl. That's what I've got. And you see this bowl that had that 6 cups of flour. It's still got just over a cup of flour in it. We're going to use that here in a minute. And this one has, as you see, it's nice and shiny. It's been sprayed with canola cooking oil, and that way, everything needs a little lube, you know what I mean? So, spray it down with some canola, and our 7 minutes is just about. Okay, what we have here is we have dough. You see how it's still a little bit attached to this, but it's not really sticky. I mean, it is a little bit on the sticky side, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull this off, put it over here with the dirty dishes, and we're going to, if I can do this one-handed, just dump it out on the table. There you go. Or on the counter. Counter's been clean, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably just roll this over here. I should have done this before. And put a little bit of flour out here on the counter. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And we're going to put this back over here because it's still not quite right yet. It's still a little damp. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of flour and we're just going to coat it with flour, and we're going to knead it. You know, we're going to work it. So I got to have 2 hands for this, so I'll be right back. Now, this is kind of hard to do one-handed. I normally do this with both hands, but this is exactly the way you want to knead this. Just like this. And you want to keep a little bit of flour on it, not a whole lot. You want to keep your hand, because you don't want it sticking to you. You don't want it sticking to your hands. You don't want it sticking to your countertop. You just want to work until it feels like it still wants to be a little bit sticky, but not where it's going to be gooey. And you see how it's starting to, I wish you could smell this if you like garlic bread. Ooh, this is good stuff. But anyway, so this is just about right. See how it's just kind of starting to bounce back there? See how it wants to bounce back? That's about right. So just a few more. Just kind of push with the palm of your hand and pull it back. Push with the palm of your hand and pull it back. It doesn't take a lot of effort. And normally I do, it goes quicker if you use both hands. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, see, I think that's about right. And see how it doesn't, you saw how it was flopping around a while ago when I picked it up? Well, now it's not so floppy. And you see, it doesn't take a whole lot. And this isn't a lot of effort. It's probably also one of the longest YouTube videos I've ever made. I don't know, this may take forever to load. But you'll get it you won't see it until Monday now, I don't think. So anyway, of course I'll put it up on my YouTube page. You know my name. You just look when you get a chance. So, but I'll tell you, it's loaded. It's loading. You know, it'll be loading before Mr. gets home, and so yeah, that's see how that's just kind of sponging back like a you know, it's just kind of bouncing back. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in there, kind of flatten it down a little bit. Now I'm going to take it into another room because I'm in here underneath my air conditioner, and I'm going to, oh, by the way, there was a ding-a-ling on one side of the door and a set of bells on the door. I'm going to set that there. I'm going to go get a towel. Hold on. Okay, so here's the dough, and here's just a little towel just to keep creepy crawlies and whatever out of it, hopefully. Cover that up. And it's in here, it's out of the way of the air conditioner. You want to keep it warm. And now I'm going to let this rise for 2 hours. And in 2 hours, of course, I'm not going to be able to keep my camera running for 2 hours. So there will be a part 2 to this video. So see you in part 2.